Master horse racing with daily racing fields formulator. Now free for DRF Bets members. Sign up to get the best bonus in racing with a $250 deposit match, plus a $10 free bet and free formulator past performances. Go to drf.com/bet to play like a pro today.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer at Pimlico Racecourse, getting set for the Preakness Stakes. We'll see if Mage can continue on his way to a Triple Crown bid at Belmont Park in 3 weeks' time. But for now, we're going to take a look at race number 6, kicking off a pick 4. This race is also for 3-year-olds, but for sprinters going 3/4 of a mile. The Grade 3 $200,000 Chick Lang. Please click or scan the QR code because DRFTV is now available for Preakness Saturday on DRF.com. Taking a look at this field, the number 1 Having a Meltdown has shown a lot of speed. He's shown a lot of ability. He's one of the better 3-year-old sprinters in the country right now.
Yeah, he really is. He's already a multiple stakes winner sprinting on the main track, Dan. The only 2 losses so far in his career came against some pretty good horses in some tough spots. He's the horse to beat in here. We'll see how he breaks from the rail. He's off of a little bit of a layoff in this race after coming back from the Middle East. He's the horse to beat, though, for sure.
Bob Baffert did try to stretch him out to a 1-turn mile in the Saudi Derby last time out. We're going to watch that race. Frankie Dettori had him on the lead, but he had him well off the rail on the back stretch and then kind of dropped down to the 2-path, turning into the lane. He was beaten by a long shot, but I just think the mile's a little too far for him.
The distance is a viable excuse for him. It's also, I guess, at least worth pointing out, that pace seemed pretty fast to me in that race, Dan, even though, as you saw there in the stretch run, there was really no closing going on behind these 2 horses who just sort of dueled around the track. I thought he ran fine in that race. I like him cutting back here. The little bit of a layoff I don't think is supposed to be a concern. I see some pretty fast, typical Baffert works on the tab here. Can these horses go with him early? I think that's the main question.
That's why we'll throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector. A little bit late, but better late than never. Having a Meltdown's got a lot of early speed, but there's other speed in here. Prove right the 6 is fast. I'm not sure he's having a Meltdown fast. The key to me is, will Super Chow go?
Yeah, I think that's the key to the pace as well. I think it's also fair to question whether Super Chow's as fast as Having a Meltdown as well. We'll see, Dan. It's certainly possible that he is. Even if he is he going to be able to put enough pressure on Having a Meltdown to maybe set this race up for somebody else?
We talked a little bit already about Having a Meltdown, so we'll move to the number 2, Rivet, who's already won 3 consecutive races coming into this, including this start, the Bachelor at Oaklawn, going 3/4 of a mile. Now, in his prior outing, he sat from off the pace.
Yeah.
In the Bachelor, he just went right to the front. He put away a pace pursuer who ended up being pulled up, and he kept about his business. That versatility should work very well for him. Asmussen's had a lot of success in this race.
One of the things that I like about him is that versatility, though, Dan. He's been really tough in the races when he's made the lead. That includes that most recent start you see on the replay there. The horse that runs second, who's a pretty good horse, by the way, came from way out of it, but he didn't really get anywhere near Rivet at the end of that race, even 3 starts back when he broke his maiden. Contested the pace. The horse that was up there with him finished way back in the field. This horse went on with it, but I like that he showed the dimension 2 back that suggests he could fall into a trip here.
I think if you're looking for a sleeper at a price, the 3 Frosted Departure's the way to go. This horse is turning back in distance, catching a race with pace, and he just might be a better sprinter anyway. The last time he sprinted, he won a stakes race at Oaklawn Park. They tried him going 2 turns, and then last time out in the Pat Day Mile, kind of shuffled back along the inside, had to squeeze on through. I think that distance was a little far. He's running late.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the turn back really works for this horse, and he is an interesting alternative in this race if he's a fair price. I kind of struggled with trying to decide who was taking money after the Baffert horse on the rail. I thought maybe it was this horse. I wouldn't want any kind of a short price on him in this race, Dan, but he's certainly a contender.
Bristol Channel scored last time out in the race we're going to show you. This is a 2-life allowance at Charlestown, a 2-turn 6.5 for a long race. He showed good speed in this race. He was able to sprint on home. This is worlds different from a class and pace standpoint.
Yeah, these are big obstacles for this horse to have to overcome in a race like this. I give his connections respect for stepping him up into a race like this, but he's too slow to win right now.
I think Super Chow's second choice in this race. He's won 6 of 8 lifetime. He's never been off the board. And he showed a little bit of a new dimension last time out in the Hutchison, the race we're going to show you right now, where he sat just off the lead. He made a 3-wide bid to the front, turning for home, and as usual, didn't change leads in the stretch.
Another horse who's a multiple stakes winner sprinting on the dirt. There's not anything to really knock about his overall form. He wins a lot. He's got good speed. More than anything else, though, at least so far, Dan, this horse has been very well spotted in his last 4 races. 3 to 5, even money, 4 to 5, 1 to 5. That just suggests they put him in the right spots. Is this the right spot?
I'm not sure this is the right spot, but again, he deserves an opportunity in this race based on his credentials. We'll see what the tactics are going to be. Paco Lopez picks up the mount. Prove Right is the number 6. This horse likes Light Fear at Maryland. His last 2 wins have come at Laurel, but his last race, the Grade 3 Bayshore up in New York, he was on the lead. He tired very badly. I was disappointed with that race.
I was disappointed with that one too, and it's another stakes attempt for this horse where it just didn't work out. Every time they try him in one of the tougher races, he just doesn't really run that well. I like certain things about him. He's very versatile. He can win going long or run well going long. He runs well going short too. Maybe he gets a trip here, Dan, but he's got a lot to prove against horses like this.
We talked about Frosted Departure, cutting back in distance and getting some pace. How about the 7? Prince of Jericho for Brittany Russell, a stakes winner going 7/8 of a mile, ran second going a 1-turn mile in the Miraclewood 2 starts back. Last time out in the Tessio, outside post, bumped going into the first turn. I think Sheldon Russell gave him a really good ride after that. He saved as much ground as possible. He kind of was in a little bit tight down on the rail. I think that distance is a little far for him.
I agree. I don't really care about either of his last 2 starts. He didn't win either of those. To me, the best effort of this horse's life was the last time he sprinted. He ran really well that day. He got a decent figure for it. He's got to improve again for sure, but he's got a great post. He's got the right running style.
One of the horses he whipped in that sprint race, Coffee with Chris, we'll see in the feature on Saturday, the Preakness. Top pick time for the Chick Lang. Boy, I hate to chalk it out. I just think Having a Meltdown is a very talented sprinter. I think he's on a send mission. I think he's the fastest from the rail, and I think he holds him off.
He's the horse to beat for sure. I'm going to take a little shot against him with the 2 Rivet. I think this horse can fall into a trip in this race. I don't think we've seen his best race yet, and I think he could take a step forward here at a fair price.
Steve Asmussen has done very well in the Chick Lang in the past. Rivet looks for his 4th consecutive win. He'll be a good price against Having a Meltdown.